Hello, we are the Smith family: Joshua, Jennifer, Joel, Amelia, and Logan, independent Baptist church planting missionaries returning to the field of Argentina. We are sent out of Faith Baptist Church of Franklin, Kentucky, working with All Points Baptist Mission, a ministry of Calvary Baptist Church in New Philadelphia, Ohio. Through God's Word, we understand that He is on a mission in this world. He is calling out a people for His name out of every kindred, tongue, people, and nation to worship Him forever. He has commanded us to go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature, to go and teach all nations. He has designed His work to be accomplished through the planting and establishing of churches in our Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the uttermost part of the earth. God has called us to plant churches in the uttermost, Argentina. Argentina is located in South America and is the 8th largest country in the world in landmass. It has a population of over 41 million people who speak Spanish with an Italian accent. The vast majority of the people are lost, either believing in no God or trusting in some form of works-based salvation. We are returning to the capital city of Buenos Aires because it is a strategic place to plant churches and train national leaders. Buenos Aires is a key city to plant new churches because of its mass population, diversity, and its lack of biblical teaching. Buenos Aires has a population of over 13 million people. It is called the New York City of South America. Like New York City, it is not only known for having masses of people, but also for having a great cultural diversity. There are people from every town in Argentina, every country in South America, and many other countries around the world. Buenos Aires is rich in cultural diversity, but it is poor in biblical Christianity. About 90% have a Catholic background, with 20% actually practicing. Most people find the Catholic religion to be dead and are being driven towards atheistic secularism, agnosticism, cults, and other works-based religions, such as Mormonism, Jehovah's Witness, Judaism, and Islam. Most of those who consider themselves to be evangelical or Protestant are following charismatic leaders that preach a health and wealth prosperity gospel. Everywhere you turn, more churches of sound doctrine need to be planted. We believe that God has given us the calling, preparation, trials, determination, and experience necessary to plant churches in Argentina. He called us to be missionaries while we were teenagers at Camp Victory. We prayed earnestly for years before we knew exactly where He would have us to serve. We developed a burden for Spanish-speaking people while in high school. And after I took a missions trip to Peru, and after we studied about church planting strategies in Bible college, we knew that God would have us to go to a major city in South America. Finally, we met a couple of Argentine families in Bible college and learned about Buenos Aires. We took a survey trip in 2009, and God gave us a definite calling to plant churches in Buenos Aires, Argentina. God prepared us while we were young people, working in our youth groups, soul winning, bus visitation, and music ministries. We went to Crown College in Knoxville, Tennessee, where I graduated with a degree in biblical missions in May of 2009. We ministered for 5 years in a Spanish-speaking ministry at Temple Baptist Church, and I worked a year and a half as a bilingual collections agent. Along the way, God has allowed trials into our lives to prove us and to refine us. After 6 months of deputation, in January 2010, we made a decision to purchase our plane tickets for January 2011 and trust God that He would get us to the field with the support we needed. 2 weeks after making this decision, our then 18-month-old son Joel was diagnosed with a rare form of kidney cancer. He went through radiation and nearly 8 months of chemotherapy treatments. We made it to the field by our goal date, but after 7 months, each of the 3 missionary families of southern Buenos Aires had left. Joel was diagnosed with autism, Logan was born with breathing difficulties, and a few weeks later needed an operation for pyloric stenosis. In January 2012, Jennifer's father passed away. After making plans for our first furlough, we found out that Jennifer's mother had stage 4 colon cancer. God has used each of these trials for His glory and our good. He has given us the determination to move forward with our calling. We have gained valuable experience on the field, First, we worked with other veteran missionary families, then with a team of national pastors that have been trained by the missionary. In our first term, we endeavored to master the language, adapt to the culture, and gain practical ministry experience. I had a head start with the language, so I was able to begin teaching and ministering right away. Jennifer needed private tutoring and language classes. In order to effectively minister in Argentina, we had to learn how to live there. We had to relearn how to shop, cook, drive, travel, measure, pay bills, greet, handle paperwork, medical situations, and even how to do laundry. We witnessed extreme poverty, experienced the fear of the constant threat of theft, missed foods and drinks and family from back home. We dealt with 20% annual inflation, low quality of goods, language barriers, and a lack of American conveniences. But we also experienced the good things about the culture, like having ice cream delivered to your door, eating the best steak in the world, having special parking and checkout lines for mothers with small children, and getting to drive like a race car driver without getting a ticket. Little by little, we gained a greater understanding and appreciation for their culture and began to adapt to their way of thinking and living. This allowed us to begin to minister and communicate the truths of the Bible more effectively. We were able to gain much practical ministry experience. Jennifer worked with women and children in special music. We taught English as a second language. I preached, worked in the radio, youth, and music ministries, helped organize the soul winning ministry, and taught in the Bible college. We believe we have gained enough experience, adapted to enough of the culture, and mastered enough of the language that we are ready to plant our first church. Before taking the next step, we knew we should take this time to have our first furlough. While we are on furlough, we are looking to report to the churches that support us, recharge, raise new support, and recruit laborers. When we return for this term, we are planning to plant our first church, train national leaders, expand the radio ministry, and continue teaching in the Bible college. We plan to plant our first church in southern Greater Buenos Aires, an area with a population of 5 million souls, with only 5 independent Baptist churches. Just before we left for furlough, we were able to help coordinate the construction of a nearly 200-foot radio tower. With other laborers and equipment, we had the potential to broadcast the gospel and doctrinally sound preaching, teaching, and music 24/7 to a broadcast radius of 30 miles, which would cover a population of at least 5 million people. I am excited about rejoining a team of pastors in the nearby city of La Plata who are training about 25 students that are preparing for the ministry, studying to be pastors, missionaries, Sunday school teachers, and better lay workers. Our prayer is that by ministering in the culturally diverse metropolitan city of Buenos Aires, God would touch our ministry and that we would impact other parts of the city, the country, South America, and even other countries around the world. Please continue to pray for the Smith family as we return to minister in the city of Buenos Aires, Argentina.